Hello, 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 and welcome to Let's Talk About It. Somebody's got to say it. I am your host, LaVonda Campbell-Horton, and I thank you for tuning in to my first episode. While I had another topic in mind, God gave me another topic to start with: trauma. And today I'm going to help somebody be healed and learn how to start afresh. Now let's find out what trauma means. Emotional shock following a stressful event or physical injury, which may be associated with physical shock and sometimes leads to a long-term neurosis. Now, there are different types of trauma that people deal with. And the first one that I want to talk about is family curses that cause trauma. Wherever you're at in life right now, and if you're feeling like you're stuck, I want you to take time to think about things that you have seen repeatedly happen in your family. Because back in the day, people did not air out things that were dealt with in the family. They swept them under the rug. Well, we're going to pull that rug back today and uncover those generational curses that are trying to keep you bound with trauma. Things that have happened in the family. You may have come from a family that was not a two-parent household. You may not have a man in the house. They show you how a man is supposed to operate or what a fatherly love looks like. You may have had a mother that was not the best mother, but was only operating in what she knew because of what she grew up in and how she saw her mom and going backwards. And they came all the way down to you. You don't have to be a victim of your family curses. You don't even have to be a victim of your circumstances or what you're dealing with right now. There are even people who grew up in a two-parent household and still don't know what real love looks like, or how a man is supposed to treat his wife, or how a wife's supposed to treat her husband. And they don't even know what love feels like because they grew up in a household with two parents and they were just given everything that they wanted, but they did not receive the love that they needed. Not only that, those types of situations can cause you to trauma bond with people. Trauma bonding is very dangerous because you're bonding with people over trauma, things you dealt with that you're not healed from. And then they have things that they dealt with or went through that they haven't dealt with. So both of you all are just sharing traumas that neither one of you really know how to heal from. Then you have not just your childhood and family trauma, you have relationship trauma. And those are some things that I want to talk about today. Now let's go back to the first one. You may have been raped or molested as a child, never told that you were loved, never told that you were beautiful, and you carried that inside of you, and it made you feel inadequate, made you feel like that you couldn't do the things that you know you're good at. But fear has crept in and taken over you because it's caused you to have a fear of success because you don't know what it looks like. Because everything you've dealt with in your life, you turned around and the people that you thought were supposed to protect you or that you thought you could talk to, they shunned you off, or they didn't believe you, or they swept it under the rug. Now it's time for you to pull the rug back and know how to heal. Sometimes you got to hurt to heal. Do not continue allowing people to have power over you, especially if they're dead, because then you're giving them power over your life from the grave. Forgiveness is not for them. Forgiveness is for you, so that you can heal and be whole and walk into everything that God has designed for you to have, to do, and to be. I too came out of a bunch of trauma. I was raped and molested as a child. And it caused me to get involved in and do a lot of things that I did in my life. It caused me to be on drugs, be in gangs, sell drugs, be violent, because I went into protective mode. And if you dealt with these things and now you're lashing out at everybody and thinking that nobody loves you, nobody cares, let me tell you something. You can't talk to everybody because everybody won't understand what you're dealing with or what you've been through. Find you somebody who has been healed from the hurt. You can't talk to any and everybody, especially if they're not healed themselves, because you will be trauma bonding with them. Find you somebody that you can release the hurt to. Talk about everything that you have bottled up inside. It may hurt to talk about it, but guess what? Talking about it, letting those tears come out, it's a release. And that release is part of your beginning stages of being healed so that you can be made whole. But if you decide that you want to stay in that mindset, guess what? Whatever situation or position you're in, you're going to stay there. You're going to stay there until you decide, I am sick and tired of being tired. I am tired of going through the same repeated cycles. Once you get tired of going through those cycles, it'll cause you to sit down and stop and think about why certain things keep repeating themselves in your life. It's being repeated because you haven't healed. Once you decide that you want to be healed, guess what? You'll feel a whole lot better and you'll be free. You got to find the root of the problem. Don't keep getting the fruit and not the root. Because you can pick an apple off of a tree and guess what? Another apple will grow back in that place. But if you get the root, the tree can't come back and produce any more fruit. The devil comes at a young age, especially when he knows a person have a calling on their life. And he tries to rob them of their identity at a young age. Because that's exactly what he did to me. He knew who I was when I was born. And he tried to take that away from me. And I allow him to take it away from me because of my actions, ignorance, and generational curses. You have an opportunity right now to take back your power, take back your identity, learn who you are. And just know, trust me, when somebody sees something in you that you don't see in yourself, and they tell you that you got a call in your life, don't sit around and try to say, yeah, I know, I'm just trying to figure. No, you ain't got to try to figure it out. Start at step one. Figure out what's holding you back. What traumas are you dealing with that you have not allowed yourself to heal from? Like I said, I've been raped, molested. I did drugs. I sold drugs. I was in gang. I did a whole lot of foolish stuff is what I'm going to call it. I even was sentenced to a life sentence in jail without the possibility of parole. All because I allowed the enemy to steal my identity and made me go into self-destruction mode and survival mode. But God never gave up on me. And all those people that I was trauma bonded with, God sent a person in my life that sat me down. She took the time. Find somebody who's going to take the time to pour into you, to break you. And when they break you, don't operate in the spirit of offense. They see the greater in you. And they're trying to get you to see the greater in yourself. My first lady at the time, Lily Pope. God knows I love that lady to death. Because I could be dead and gone sleeping in my grave. But she took one day the time out to go to a park with me. And she sat there for almost 4 hours until I broke because I was stubborn. And if you know you're stubborn, start now asking God to release that stubbornness in you so that you can hear the word over your life. God's promises over our lives are yes and amen. But we have to want it. She sat with me, she prayed with me, and she talked to me. And because she knew I had a good memory of memorizing things and numbers and everything, she helped me start releasing myself from my past. The first step was she said, take your phone out, erase every number of people that's tied to your past that don't mean you no good. And even when I did that, she prayed on me, Lord, remove the numbers from her memory. Because she knew that I would memorize some of those numbers. And you know what? God did just that. And she didn't stop there. She broke through those walls. She broke through those walls. I'm telling you, she broke those walls down until I cried like a baby. And I thank God for her, because that was the day that my healing started to take place. And let me tell you something. Whenever you start to heal and you decide you want to walk on the side that God has for you and walk into the life and the calling that God has on you, don't think that road is going to be easy, because it's not. Because when you decide to make a change, just know the enemy is going to come for you to try to take you back or keep you bound by your trauma. You have to learn how to identify the tricks of the enemy. And understand this. The enemy only has 3 jobs. That's to kill, steal, and destroy. As long as you know that, you can learn how to operate and who you're supposed to be and how to defeat the devil. Stop letting the enemy take you back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Learn how to take a stand against everything negative that he tries to plant in your mind. Every feeling of worthlessness. And I say this, if you're over the age of 30, you should have some kind of life plan by now. If you're in a sinkhole or not doing anything or going anywhere with your life, it's because you choose to. And it's time out to stop blaming other people about what you're dealing with in your life, because you're dealing with things because of the choices you made. Now, the day that you decide to be healed and release that trauma is going to be the day that you decide to be free. You can only be free if you want to be free. Don't sit around moping and think you're going to find your healing in a bottle and drugs, clubbing and partying and all that. You're not going to find healing in it, because once you sober up, guess what? Reality going to hit you again about your situation and where you at in life. Life going to keep lifing. But it's up to you to decide which life you want to live. Do you want to keep living a defeated life, or do you want to live the life that God promised you? The choice is yours. Relationship trauma. Some of y'all are getting in relationships based off trauma. You got to be healed and whole yourself before you can really allow somebody to love you the right way, love you properly. If growing up, if all you seen was abuse in relationships, fighting, alcohol, drugs, guess what? That's all you know. So that's the direction when somebody beating on you or getting drunk, beating on you, degrading you, putting you down, it's because that's all you saw. But you got to take a stand and decide like I did. The things I saw growing up, I made a conscious decision at a young age, even though I wasn't healed, but I made a decision to know, you know what? Now, this is something I ain't going to deal with. I'm not dealing with this because, see, I know me. You put your hands on, I'm going to jail. Because what I did know I didn't want a drunk. I didn't want somebody abusive, whether it was physically, mentally, or emotionally. Because people can abuse you without actually putting their hands on you. They can abuse you mentally and emotionally by degrading you, putting you down, telling you what you can't do, what you don't do, and this, that, and other. You don't ever let someone else determine your worth or who you are. You make the decision of who you are. Whether the relationship is a friendship, a marriage, or dating. Now with these friendships and this trauma bonding, neither one of y'all are healed because y'all want to both be doing the same things. And I'm going to tell you something today. Let me tell you something else about that. The day that you decide that you want to change and you want to be healed, God going to move some people out of your life and you need to let him. I don't care how long you've been friends. But if you want to change and they want to keep doing the same thing, you need to let God shut that door. You don't leave it cracked, let him close it. And all this name calling, I never understood that. Because me personally, I have never liked anybody call me out my name. Young ladies, stop letting people refer to you as B's and H's. Men, stop letting people refer to you as YNs. Or the N word. You're more than your kings and queens. Young ladies, you are more than your lips and your hips, your body. When you decide you want to make a change, and like I said, your friends want to stay the same, disconnect, unplug. God is your source. You get connected to the source and don't let nobody unplug you. I promise you a better life is waiting for you if you decide to connect to the source. Let them talk about you. Let them say you changed. She acting funny. He acting funny. Man, I remember when you... Okay, you can remember all you want to, but guess what? Jesus dropped the charges. Don't ever let anybody keep you bound to your past. Especially when you know you're on your road to healing and becoming a new person. People are bad about that. They are bad about telling you what they remember about you or who you used to be. Don't fall prey to that trick. It's a setup to pull you back in and manipulate you to do what they want you to do. But you got to have a mindset, you know what? It don't even matter. Find somebody in your circle or your family or somebody you know that have been through something and you see the change. You focus on that. You know what? They came out. I know I can change. I can come out of this. I don't have to be like this because I saw this person change. Let that be your role model. Let that be your model, your example, the one that you didn't have. But don't stay stuck. You have a choice to change. And when it comes to a relationship for its marriage, men, women, because there are men that in relationships that get abused mentally, emotionally, and physically as well. Don't stay in a relationship when you know it's at a dead end. Somebody abusing you mentally and physically and emotionally, it's the same thing, and it's a type of death. Sometimes death ain't always naturally. Death do us apart can go beyond a physical death. You know a death has occurred when you see repeated cycles going over and over and over and over again. Get off the Ferris wheel. Decide to tell the operator to stop, let me off. You got the power to change your life and how you are being treated. And it's not just in the world, it's in the church. You got a lot of people that are married that's in the church. You staying married to save face? No. That's not a reason to stay in a marriage where you're dying. Don't stay in a relationship that's killing you slowly. It's like a cancer sucking the life out of you. You have to decide to pull the plug and to be happy and to be free. Because that's not God's desire for you, to let somebody else kill you slowly and suck the life out of you. His desire is for us to prosper, be in health, even as our soul prospers. You have a right to be free. Because when you're in bondage, there's somebody that can see it. But you got to see it for yourself and want to be free. If the relationship is hindering your walk with God and you don't see yourself elevating and growing, it's time to find the exit and get out. Don't stay in bondage. You have to take time to decide if you want to be free. It's time to heal from trauma and let yourself be free. Be made whole. It's a day by day. It's day by day. So don't think that the change is going to happen overnight. It took me 7 years just to get delivered from a fighting spirit. That's why I don't let people provoke me. I have learned how to walk away from situations. And that's to God be the glory. Because I know who I used to be. People getting up yelling in my face, hollering and all that. No, to me that's very disrespectful. I ain't gonna be disrespected. But before I let you make my flesh rise, I'm just gonna turn and walk away. I'm gonna go on. Because see, I know that if I let that rise back up in me, that one demon coming back with 7. I know how hard it was for me to get rid of that first one. Let alone try to fight out 8 of them. They'll have to call me, can't get back right. So I choose to stay free. I choose to keep my peace. I choose to keep my joy. And today, I want you to choose to be happy, to be free, to have some joy, to have some peace. Don't keep wallowing in self-pity and expecting people to pull you out of it. Sometimes God will move people out of the way just so you will have no other choice but to turn to Him. But one thing you need to remember is free will. God is not going to go against your free will. And I tell people, when you're praying for something, don't ask God, let your will be done. Because that will could be your free will. Lord, whatever you got for me, let your perfect will be done in my life. Perfect will. You surrendering your will because you want His perfect will to be done in your life. So today, please decide that you want to heal from trauma. There's so much more that I could say when it comes to trauma. But I just want to get the basic things out there so you can begin to take your life back. You don't have to be mad, bitter, and angry. You don't have to stay like that. Because everybody didn't do something to you. You got people out there that love you. And God will give you a tribe. You have to find your tribe. Everybody you think is your tribe is not your tribe. And I can truly say, I thank God that I found my tribe. Because me, when I was operating that mindset and I wasn't completely healed from my trauma, and I had to guard my own heart. I had a wall up that was so high and so thick, anybody couldn't get in. Because I had trust issues. Trust issues will keep you from being healed when you're dealing with trauma. Now, don't get me wrong. I still don't let anybody attach themselves to me because I know who I am now. I know my identity. I know what gifts I operate in. And I'm walking in wholeness. So I still don't let everybody have access to me because people still out there that don't mean you're no good. That's why you have to find your tribe. You have to find your tribe that has that no judgment zone. So you can be free to begin to heal. The people that'll love you where you're at and help you get to where you're going. Find your tribe. The people that will love you where you're at to help you heal and get to where you're going and be who God called you to be. You don't have to stay in the mess that you're in. As the song says, the Father wants to put you back together again. So why don't you take time to figure out what the root is that you need to get and root it up and begin to heal so you can be whole and live a prosperous life. Why don't you decide today to let the Father put you back together again? I love you all. Thanks for listening. And again, I am your host, LaBonda Campbell-Horton, and thank you for watching. Let's talk about it. Somebody's got to say it. I said what I said, and to God be the glory for giving me the courage to say it and talk about it and tell my story. Until next time, let God be God in your life and let yourself heal and break free from trauma. You deserve better, and God got so much more in store for you. You just got to decide that you want it. Bye-bye.